So the channel's come out to about a year old now, and so many people have commented over the last year about the state of my boot and all the hay and everything that's always inside it. So I thought for its year's birthday on the channel, I thought I'd finally get around to cleaning that out. So aside from all the boxes and boots and bags and stuff like that, the biggest problem is obviously all the hay. So today we're going to give it a real good scrub and a real good wash. So first thing I'm going to do is just get the box out, all the bits and pieces out. I'll take the parcel shelf out so I've got a bit more room. I'm actually going to take the carpet, the bottom carpet out today, but we are going to be cleaning the sides and the backs of the chairs and everything. So the first thing I'm going to do is just give it a good hoover over. Nothing special, just with a regular hoover, just getting in there. But then what we're going to try and do when we come to wash it is check out the difference between these different scrubbing brushes and see if one is more efficient than another. So that blue one goes in the drill bit, so that's the one that I'm hoping to use to really get into the fibres and really get this dirt out. But for now we're just going to hoover it out with this bit here. Okay, so it's looking a whole lot different already, but it's still obviously nowhere near as good as it needs to be. So what I'm going to do now is take out the carpet. So to do that, we've just got two fixings, one over there and one over there, and they are a number 6 Allen bit. So I'm just going to get them removed, and then we should be able to take the whole carpet away. So with those two fixings now removed, what we can do is just grab the little handle down here, lift the carpet up, and then we can just fold it kind of over, put it towards us, and the whole thing come away. Then we get to see that we've got a whole load more hay underneath that we're going to need to hoover up as well. So I'm just going to get that hoovered up now, and then we're going to focus on the main carpet. Okay, great. So with it out of the boot, we can really see now that there's still so much dirt in there. There's still much of this hay that's really embedded right in the fibres of the carpet, right in up there to try and hoover out. So what I'm going to do now is just use this brush just to go over it, just give it a real good scrub so that we can really try and get some of those out. You can see it's making a difference already. So I'm just going to start at the top and kind of work away across, work back down to the worst areas, obviously leaving the better areas, kind of doing them first and working away, trying to bring the dirt down so it comes off all at the worst point. So as I'm going to do that, what I'm going to do is just hoover up slowly after each little kind of section as such. We can see there that it's really made a difference. It's really got loads of that dirt out. It's really brought it to the surface as well. So what I'm going to do now is just get a hoover on there, take them off the top, and save me just scrubbing them back into it. Okay, great stuff. So I'm just going to carry on and do that across the entire carpet, all the way from the top to the bottom, left to right, or right to left as such. Okay, so after a good 15 minutes or so of effort, we're now into a really good position. It's looking a whole lot better already. Definitely that brush with the hoover paired together made a real good effort. I've just picked it up as well, just giving it a bang off. Just any of that surface stuff that's on there is really good. But you can see there's still a couple of little bits in here that need to come out. So next up, what we're going to do is give it a good wash. So for cleaning the carpet and washing it down, what I've got is just some of this interior upholstery cleaner. So we're going to use that. We've just got some water and a sponge, which we're going to obviously put the cleaner into the water, mix it up a little bit, and then we're going to use the sponge just to get on there, give it a bit of a soaking, give it a bit of a rubbing, and then we're going to use this drill bit attachment in the drill just to really work it in there, go through it, and hopefully get the last of those ingrained dirty bits out of it and really give the carpet a clean. It's never been cleaned as long as I've had the car, so it'll be a really good thing to do. And then obviously we can look at considering doing the rest of the car inside, although it needs to clean anyway. Okay, so for this bit, all I'm going to do is just start at the top again and just work along, and then kind of come back and work along. So I've now got the cleaner in the water mixed up nicely. I've got the sponge, it's nicely wetted, it's not soaking, it's not dripping too much. I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to slowly work it in to the carpet, just getting it nicely evenly kind of around it. Not too wet, I'm not going to soak it. It's meant to be a nice day today. The sun's coming up, so, or the sun's coming over the top of the house, should we say. So it should hopefully dry out pretty well. But what we're going to do obviously is use the wet vacuum to go over this to dry it out as much as possible. Okay, so with the whole thing washed down, really rubbed in, really rubbed them bubbles into it loads, what I'm going to do now is just use the drill bit, just this attachment, just going in. I'm not going to push too light. I've not actually used this one before. You can see it's obviously brand new. So we'll see how it goes, see what it works into it like. I don't want to damage the carpet, but let's see what happens. Okay, so it feels pretty good, and it looks like it's doing a good job too. Doesn't look like it's damaging the carpet at all in any way, shape or form either. So I'm going to carry on. I'm just going to go up and down. I started on this bit because it's a little bit harder to test, but I'm just going to do the same. Go up there, back down there, and back along there. And hopefully, by the time we do that, we should get all that grain that's left in there, or all that dirt, all that straw and hay that's left right in the grain of the carpet should be brought to the top, and then we can use the wet vac to go over the top of it. Okay, great. So it's worked all the way through, all the way top to bottom, left to right. So you can see obviously I've just gone up and down, just in that kind of motion all the way along, working through it. And that drill bit actually worked really, really well with that brush attachment, should we say. As it was going through, it's picking up kind of the last few bits of hay and stuff like that coming out the grain. So hopefully what we'll do now, we'll get the wet vac on there, and then we'll get rid of all these bubbles and stuff like that, and then we'll see what we're left with. Okay, so it's looking really good. Obviously it's not going to be 100% dry, but it's going to be a good day-to-day sun-wise. So hopefully by the time this is drying out, we can leave it in the sun. We'll be able to do the rest of the stuff in the boot. So we can see there's a few bits and pieces on there. I think most of it's actually sponge, so I should be able to just flick them off if I can't hoover them up. But we'll carry on. I'll go around the entire carpet, get it all done, and then we'll let it dry for a little while. So looking at it now, once it's all done, we've gone over it with the wet vac. The biggest problem I'd say was actually with bits of sponge. I'd definitely recommend not using a sponge to wet it down in the first instance, because that sponge, just loads of bits and pieces come off of it. I'd use something else to put it on there. That drill brush adapter though has worked a treat. It's done a really good job. All I've done, obviously with the wet vac, just going over it, what I did do in the end was just put the brush attachment back onto the end, and that really helped bring it up and really lift the water up. So what I'm going to do now is just move it around here into the sun, just to let it dry out a little bit more, and while that's drying, then we can just get back into the boot and clean out around the wheel. Okay, so with the spare wheel removed, we can see that we've got kind of a load of hay and stuff in here still. So we'll just get a hoover in here and clean all this up. And then what I'm going to do is just get that first wooden brush, the one that we used, and just go over here, just give it a real good brush over, get the vacuum in here, and just try and get as much of this last few little bits and pieces out that are in here. And then that'll be a nice setting for it all to come back into. Okay, so it's looking a whole lot better in here now. All that hay's gone, all that bit that was embedded into it, I picked all that out. That's all gone. All the way up here, all the way down is all good. The only bit that's a problem still is just right in the corner here, where I can't really get my brush in there. So what I'm going to do, other than trying to get in there and maybe pick it out with some tweezers or something like that, is actually use a different attachment. This one looks a bit like a toilet brush, but I'll show you it's not. But what I'm going to do is just put that back in the drill, and then we're going to pop that right in the corner there, really work it in, and hopefully we should be able to get all that dirt in there, both this side and the other side as well. Okay, it looks like it's worked really well, so I'm just going to get the hoover in there. Okay, so with everything looking as good as it does, it'd be a shame not to do all the plastics. This bit, some of these bits up here as well. So what I'm going to do is just use some of this Maguire's protectant stuff. Just get that on there, just rub it on nice and evenly, just over all the plastic bits, just to give them a real good clean up and bring them back to fresh looking. Okay, that looks so much nicer already. So next step, just to get the spare wheel back in. And then next up, now this is dried out nicely, we're just going to get this back installed with the two fixing screws, one there and one there. So there we go, with everything back in, we can see the results for ourselves. I'm well chuffed with that, it looks really, really good. I think what I need to do next is probably get the seats out of the car and do the carpets inside there, because I'm so impressed with that, and it's so clean, it smells really nice now as well. So what a result, I'm really, really chuffed. So a couple of real main things for me there. One, when you're wetting down the carpet, don't use a crappy sponge, because it's going to fall apart and cause you effort trying to clear it up afterwards. And two, having a selection of brushes one like this and one like this was really important for getting into the carpet and really getting into the grain of it. So definitely recommend getting some of them brushes. So if you found that useful, remember to hit like down below. If you haven't done so already, remember to hit subscribe coming up here now. Like I always say, I really appreciate that, and every single like, every single subscriber means I'll keep making more videos as well. So thanks for now, really appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.